Mike Owens here, and today I'm joined by my Bostonian brother, Calvin Kattar, who's back in action finally on the 29th of October, facing Arnold Allen. Calvin, always a pleasure. How are you, my friend?
Likewise, Mike. Everything's going great. Thank you. How's everything with yourself?
Perfect. And as I mentioned off camera, all the more better for speaking with you, my friend.
Let's go.
I want to get first and foremost, because you're in Vegas at the moment. I just seen about an hour ago, Dan Ige post a photo of you and him getting some work in, former op. What's it like having a relationship like that with Dan Ige, a guy who you shared 5 rounds with a couple of years ago?
It's great, man. It's nice, in the sport when you could find like. We're all chasing the same thing, whether we like it or not. A lot of us are more like than we think, but there's a few raw eggs. But Danny Gate's a good one, man. He's a great one, great guy. And I was happy I was able to meet him. Unfortunately, we had a fight first, but even during that fight week, it was tough because we were, good friends with everybody that was cornering him, coaching him with him. And then when I got to meet him, we hit it off too.
I love that photo of you and all you guys, you two in the middle and all the teams. Eric Nixick's in there, Tyson's in there, the post-fight photo. I love that photo, and the relationship that you guys have got only speaks to what martial arts is all about.
For sure. I think we were one of the first or only two teams to take a picture together, which is kind of funny. I'm surprised it took so long for something like that to happen. But yeah, man, it's a brotherhood. I like to consider these guys like a second home for us out here, the Vegas-Boston connection. A lot of good people, man, and I'm happy that we're out here taking advantage of it again.
Yeah. Well, that was your first 5-round fight in the UFC, and we're now going into your fifth on the run. You've 100% established yourself as a 5-round fighter. Can I ask, with your style, given that you kind of pick up so many rounds, especially in the fourth and fifth, I don't think you've ever lost a fourth or a fifth round, with the exception of the Max fight. Is your style extra suited for going the 25-minute distance?
I mean, that's what they say, man, but I prefer to get him out of there in the first or second, save some energy for the rest of the night. Maybe walk around without a limp's nice, but I'll take it however I can get it, man, by any means necessary. I'm out here trying to change my life, and however many rounds that takes, I'm game.
I want to talk about the last fight against Emmett, and I want to get off the cuff straight away that I think, as a lot of people did, I scored that for you. And maybe I have my own biases given mine and your relationship, but I scored that fight for you. But nevertheless, it was a close fight. You mentioned there you like to get them out of there quickly. So obviously things maybe didn't go the way you've expected. So even though we both think you won the fight, what do you think went wrong in the contest?
I mean, we had Chris Lee as the judge. That was something we weren't really prepared for. I don't know what he was really watching in that fourth round. But without sounding like too much of a complainer, man, it's like all you could do is focus on what you can control, and that's that's in the rear view at this point. At the time, I felt like I definitely had done enough. I think that people agree with me. I am kind of sick of hearing it from everybody too. It sucks. We're all in the same boat, except I didn't get my win side money, and that doesn't come back. I got to go earn another paycheck, and I got another tough test ahead of me, 10/29, and I'm excited to go and earn my opportunities, man. It's like these guys want to sit back, and time and time again, you just see them waiting it out, letting these guys kind of fight it out, and then they climb the rankings by a byproduct of everyone else fighting. And for me, I prefer to go and earn it. And when I get it, they're gonna say that I earned it, and I'm gonna be grateful for that.
100%. Can I ask, and when I ask this question, I don't mean any disrespect. You know the respect that I've got for you, Calvin. So, but I don't want this to come out in the wrong way. But in your other losses in the UFC, there's a Beat loss, the Moicano loss, and the Max loss. They were pretty convincing. I think by the end of it, most people agreed that you probably deserved to lose them. But in this fight was the first fight where you never got the W, but most people thought you deserved to win. So I know we don't want to linger on the Emma fight, but what was that experience like for you when, as you mentioned, people think you deserve the W, but you get half a paycheck and an L on your record?
Yeah, man, it kind of hurts. I'd say almost the most. It's just like I can, like you said, I'm not undefeated. It's not like I've never lost a fight. So I get what that feels like, and it sucks. But to actually, think you'd done enough to win the fight. I mean, Emmett had 21 stitches. I think I heard in his left eye. I had no lacerations. I outstruck him 30 plus strikes in the fight. So just even off a number standpoint, I mean,
Yeah.
It's a little tougher to swallow, And then, like you say, you have the money and you felt like you did enough to win, and let alone all the, title qualifications, all the other things that can kind of go on the back end of it that you're not really aware of at the moment. It definitely sucks, but for me, man, I just try to focus on the positives in every situation, and I gotta pull from it when I can and move on. And now I let that motivation drive me every day in training. And here we are with another tough test ahead of us, 10/29.
Well, let's turn the conversation to the fight at hand, 29th of October, as we've mentioned. You're facing Arnold Allen. First and foremost, it's about 6 weeks, 6.5 weeks since this fight was booked last week until fight night. Can you kind of walk me through the process of getting matched up against Arnold and how you feel about having this not short notice fight, but kind of mid-range notice fight?
Yeah, I mean, Emmett was 7 weeks. It seems to be the new norm here in the UFC, is like these quick camps. So there's pros and cons to everything. Like I said, I choose to focus on the pros, but quick camps. I had the Giga camp was 14 weeks, man. That was forever. It felt like that sucked in itself. Even though you have all the time in the world, it was like that sucked too. That was like, but it was as good as it was. It was a long camp. I had gotten COVID twice during that camp. That's how long it was.
Wow.
Yeah, but with this one, just came about. I know Tyson's been jockeying for. He likes to match up. He's kid's on his way up. He's like, what, 8-0 or something like that, climbing the rankings, doing what he's got to do. And to me, it's just another target moving in my direction, as my man Sean Farley would say. They just they're all just an opposition and an opportunity for me to go out there and prove why I'm one of the best in the world and change my life, with another win.
100%. He's 9-0, as you mentioned. He's 9-0, undefeated in the UFC. 9-0 in the UFC. I'll ask you a plain question. Has up to what you've seen of him, has Arnold Allen impressed you?
I mean, if you're able to go 9-0 in the UFC, it's impressive, But that being said, I don't know if he's ever fought anybody like myself or at that top 5 caliber, and we're gonna see how he handles it.
100%. I know that there was rumors last year, around about this time last year, there was a fight between you and Allen potentially brewing. It obviously never came off. But then Allen, in the meantime, goes off and has the biggest win of his career, where he knocks out Dan Hooker. I want to know, did your opinion of Arnold Allen change post Dan Hooker knockout?
I mean, I don't really have many opinions of these guys. I don't really focus on them much. Congratulations. It was a good W, probably his biggest win to date, like you said. I mean, other than that, I didn't really think much about it. It was like, good job. There's so many other guys too coming up in the rankings. He's not the only undefeated guy coming up. There's a few of them, and I'm not really looking behind me as much as I am in front of me. So it's kind of like, I think I'm gonna fight all these guys eventually. In what order, I don't know. So I just try to focus all my energy on myself and my preparation day in, day out. And then when I step across from whoever that is on fight day, I'll be more than ready to go, no matter who it is.
Would you like an interesting stat, Calvin?
What is it?
Would you like an interesting stat?
An interesting start?
An interesting status, an interesting statistic.
Oh, yes. Yeah. What is it?
So you have fought longer in the cage in 2022 in your 2 fights than Arnold Allen has fought from 2019.
I fought longer in my 2 fights.
You fought 10 full rounds. Arnold Allen has fought 9.5 rounds since 2019. So you've been a lot. One thing we can say about Calvin Kattar is you've been extremely active going into your 3rd main event in 1 year. What do you make of Arnold Allen's maybe lack of activity, the fact he's been on this cycle of maybe having 1 fight a year?
I mean, you can make a lot of things of it if you want, but we've seen guys handle that very well. Proving that ring rust is maybe all in your head or whatnot. So for me, man, it's simple. You always expect the best version of a fighter that you're going to compete against. You always expect the best version of themselves every time you step in there. To train for anything less than that would be a mistake. And I'm preparing for the best Arnold Allen that stepped in the octagon, and he's gonna have to deal with the best Calvin Kattar. So may the best man win on fight night, and the fans are in for a good one this time around.
You've obviously got the sledgehammers in your left and right fists, but you've got those swords now that we saw in the Giga fight with them elbows. How much do the elbows play a factor? They seem to be a massive weapon. Obviously, they've always been a weapon in your arsenal, but an even greater weapon in your arsenal kind of through this year.
Yeah, just giving them something else to think about other than just the hands, like you're talking about. This is mixed martial arts. It's important to be well-rounded. I know oftentimes I don't always show that the best for my capabilities, but it's coming, man. I'm looking to give these guys just more to worry about every time I step in there. Give them stuff to think about, and yeah, he's gonna have a lot on his hands come 10/29, but he's done what he had to do to get to this point. So I'm sure he's got plenty of things in the works for me as well, and we'll be ready to go in and hopefully take care of business.
So if I'm looking at this from a casual point of view, just on the stats, I'm thinking we've got a guy who's fought 5 rounds in his last 4 fights, and we've got a guy who's never fought 5 rounds. So I'm looking at it and I'm thinking, if I'm Calvin Kattar and Tyson Chartier, I'm dragging this kid into deep waters if I have to or if I need to. How much do you think the 4th and 5th rounds will play a factor should we get there?
It's a good question. I think if we get there, it'll play a big factor. I think if we get there, it'll play a big factor. It's just who wants it more at that point. And you've seen I've proven how bad I want it in those 4th and 5ths, like you said, So I bring it every time I step in there, man. You don't really play this fighting game. It's a serious game. Every time you step in there, you got to be ready to go all 5 rounds, 25 minutes. You take a split-second break, and you might be looking up at the rafters, So it's important to come in prepared. I got a great team around me, and we're all out here in Vegas, like you said, for this 2 weeks, getting a little jump start in the camp. And the vibe's great, feeling good, and just can't wait to go out there and perform.
You're going to tell me, when I ask you this question, you're going to tell me you like fighting 5 rounds. But is there any part of you that thinks, do you know what, maybe I'd like a pay-per-view opener, maybe I'd like a nice little 15-minute fight, or are you happy with the dog fighting 4 and 5?
I mean, there's extra money that comes with the 4 and 5, so never mad at that.
Of course. The featherweight division's a little bit of a mess at the moment, Calvin. I mean, no one above you is currently booked. We've got Brian Ortega with his dislocated shoulder injury. We've got Max coming off a defeat. Josh Emmett's on a win streak, quote unquote. And Volkanovski's talking about going to 155. So how big of a win will this be in relation to where you want to get to, which is the title fight?
The next fight is always the biggest fight for me, and a win only puts you one step closer to that title, the ultimate goal. So it's huge. Every time you step in there, you're chasing that win side, and just want to come in and out of that thing healthy, so you're able to get right back in. And like I said, I'm trying to change my life, and you don't get that sitting on the sidelines, waiting for people to fight it out and waiting for the right time to step in there. You take every opportunity you can. And when I get it, like I said, they're going to say I earned it, which is important to me.
100%. Just off topic a little bit, because I know I just had a recent Combat Zone show. I think it was Combat Zone 77. I think 78 coming up in November. How are things going on the promotional side of things down in New England's biggest MMA show?
Yeah, it's great, man. Things are moving really well for us. We got the young guys coming up. I feel like they're coming up soon in the UFC, and right now trying to keep them busy locally with Combat Zone. I always book the Saturday or Friday or Saturday before Thanksgiving. As a fighter, you know how bad it sucks to have to compete in between Thanksgiving and Christmas and things. So I always try to book that date a year out. So it's usually one of the better events, man. People excited to go out there, throw down, and go eat and enjoy time with their family. So really excited about this one. We have a ton of fights, and the MMA scene's really growing out there, man. I'm excited to be a part of it.
It's got to be nice for you having the guys in the cartel in Tom and Nick, and you can almost guide them in terms of the matchmaking and let them progress in their early career nicely. It's got to be nice to have safe space for your two understudies in the cartel to kind of grow into the guys you want them to become?
No, for sure, man. And they got good people around them too. So they're well managed, well taken care of. And as a promotion, we just follow suit. Just trying to get the guys the right matchups, build them into the eventual stars that they're going to become. Man, just they got the right. It's all about the mindset, though, man. These guys got the right mindset. They got the head down, putting in the work first, and they don't wish for it more than they work for it, as we always like to say. They're putting in the work every day. That's why I'm confident their opportunities come, and it's just they got to get ready for it now before it comes. So this way, when it does come, ready for it.
100%. Now, I know you're a very busy man, and I know in the lead up to this fight, you're going to get a lot of, give me a prediction for this fight. I'm not going to finish with that as the final question. I'm going to give you a different question. So, Calvin,
I like it. Me, man. You know me. I'm just going to give my hand raised one way or another by any means necessary. I would love a submission at some point, in the UFC. Just, I'm not saying that's going to happen this time, but I'm always hopeful of it. That's the one I would love to get in every fight is a submission. It just don't seem to happen. So a realistic finish would be a knockout. But if I got to go to decision, man, nothing's wrong with trying to go 5-0 on the rounds and get a unanimous decision. I think it shows almost more than just catching somebody that you earned a W and you beat them all 5 rounds. So I'm ready for any option, but long story short, just me getting my hand raised by any means necessary.
I've got one final question for you on the fight game, Cal. Would you like to hear it?
Let's go. What is it?
So, and Tyson can corroborate this. So I don't get many Saturday afternoons free over in England. I'm a very busy man speaking to all the great characters in combat sports. But this Saturday I had a free couple of hours, about 3 to 5 p.m. And what I decided to do with my 2 hours spare is have a Calvin Kattar afternoon. So hand on heart, I watched the Dan Ige fight, the Giga Chikadze fight, and the Josh Emmett fight. I watched 15 rounds of Calvin Kattar, and Tyson can corroborate this. So what I would like to know is, when we first spoke, you told me that your favorite fight of yours is the Shane Burgos fight. Which of your fights in the UFC do you think you've watched the most? If you had to give me the Calvin Kattar special, which one have you watched the most times?
It's tough, man. Oh shit! You almost got knocked up. That was almost the best right there. Was knocking him. Throw his ass in the pool when he hang up. Damn! I gotta rewatch it. I didn't see him creeping up on me, man. I'm slipping. I would say spoiled with a couple good finishes, man. I really like watching the elbow to Stevens. I do like the finish with Burgos at the Garden, man, because that was just at the Garden, and how big of an opportunity that was for me. First time fighting at home, right after my quick debut. I like those two, and then also the Giga one, where I felt like he's disrespecting me a lot, calling me out, talking shit, calling out the champ, overlooking me during our fight week. I'd say those are probably the top 3 right now.
Okay, well that's what I'll watch next when I have another Calvin Kattar day. That will be the 3-peat that I will watch. But nevertheless, Cal, thank you so much for your time. It's always a pleasure.
I appreciate you, man. Likewise, always good talking to you, and I'm sure we'll be talking again soon.
Always. We need to do the Cartel Podcast 2.0 when the time's right. I'm
with it. You already know, man. Looking forward to it.
Before we finish, Cal, how can people find you on social media? And if there's anything you'd like to shout out, Combat Zone as well, give all of those a nod. Yeah, we live stream our events at Combat Zone in Manchester, New Hampshire. So just go to our website, czmma.com. You can check out all the updated news for them and see the next guys coming up. You're eventually going to see them in the UFC. I'm excited about that. And then follow me on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Calvin Kattar. And yeah, that's it. Combat Zone shows November 19th. Tune in for that. And I fight 10/29 main event live in Las Vegas. Be a good one.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKick MMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.